Tonight on Red Eye.
Coming up on Red Eye, does being awesome at laser tag make you more attractive to super hot models? We pick up where Special Report left off. Plus, does the president want to make the annual White House rave a lot less fun?
I'm just warning you, next year the E may be gone. I'm just saying.
And finally, will cats ever understand the simple reflective properties of light particles, or should they just give up? Our panel debates this exercise in feline futility next. None of these stories on Red Eye tonight.
I'm Tom Shalhoub filling in for Greg Gutfeld. Don't worry, he'll be back, and you like me too. And now let's welcome our guests. When she eats pistachios, she calls them Kennedy's nuts. I'm here tonight with Kennedy, co-host of The Independents, which you can see weeknights at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox Business Network. She's as sweet as cotton candy, the blue kind, not the pink kind. It's Joanne Nosachinski. And TV's Andy Levy doesn't want a long intro. Look at him without that tie. He's cocky. And good news, your Cabbage Patch dog grew up and became a successful comedian. Sitting right next to me is comedian Joe DeVito.
A-Block, the lead. That's the first story.
It's the opposite of a win for the Skins. The U.S. Patent Office canceling the trademark registration of the Washington Redskins. That's a football team, Joe.
Duly noted.
Yeah, you don't talk about that in your hot yoga class. The office says the name is, quote, disparaging to Native Americans and therefore violates U.S. law. The ruling doesn't force team owner Dan Snyder to change the name, but it means, among other things, that other people could legally sell Redskins merchandise. The Patent Office issued a similar ruling in 1999. It was eventually overturned by a federal court. And an attorney for the team says they're confident the same thing will happen this time. Meanwhile, a new mascot has already been proposed by the league. Well, was that fake? Was that CGI?
Yeah.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gullible. Kennedy,
Tom Shalhoub.
about the Redskins, you're a libertarian, so you don't like people meddling in the affairs of a team.
Not the government, certainly.
Yes, the government. And you love Dan Snyder.
A huge fan, Tom. I'm so glad you pointed that out. No, I think that Dan Snyder, he's a stubborn coot. And
So you think he's a coot?
I could go on record, Tom, and say, yeah, I think Snyder's a coot.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that the government needs to step in. If the league wants to step in and Sterling Snyder, I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, do you see that happening? I didn't even think of that. The NFL, do you think they would step in this? But they have all those other teams. There's other logos, isn't there, that could be offensive?
Of course. Look at the Braves. Look at the Indians. Look at the Seminoles. Look at pretty much every other team.
Oh, that's all a different sport, though, right? Isn't it, Andy? But I mean, but the Vikings. The Vikings are a footballer group.
And the Norse of the North are very offended by that.
So you think, don't force them, but they should do it anyway. They should do the right thing. Is that it?
Yeah, I think they're probably digging their heels in because to this point, they feel like they have been forced and cajoled and heckled, and they're like, no. It's like a toddler. When you tell them to put their shoes on, they're like, no, I'm staying barefoot.
Yeah, they push
now?
back.
Guess what? I'm taking off the diaper next.
Andy, yes. I think you disagree with Kennedy because you think that Redskin is it's a proud name of Indian heritage.
So, yeah, I think I'm on record as saying that 17 times we've done this story. A couple things. I'm also generally leery of the government stepping in. In this case, though, it's not the government that stepped in. A suit was brought.
Yeah.
And the Patent and Trademark Office, they heard the suit and then made their ruling. It's not like they just sat there and said, how can we do this?
I don't know. I think after Harry Reid's obnoxious letter, the timing is pretty curious.
No, absolutely. Look, I think if the U.S. government is going to take something away from Daniel Snyder, I say at least give him a casino or something. that just seems
you got to get something
fairness,
for it.
I think.
I mean, Sterling got some good money for.
Yeah, absolutely.
That wasn't a sad story for him.
$2 billion bombers.
Joe, Why do sports have to be politicized? Why are they coming after our football? Let us do the chant and the who are the ones that have the chopping?
Seminoles.
No, that's Atlanta Braves to the
Yeah,
top.
they
The
do the same
Braves,
thing.
are they going to take? It's going to be a domino effect. If they knuckle under to this, I said this earlier today on a show called The Five. I think it's all about power. They don't really care about this. They want to show them who's boss, and if they can take down this team, they'll take down others. Am I right?
No, I think that's a flight of fancy. Sure, it's easy for us to bandy about words like coot, but...
Why are you looking at me, Joe?
Yeah, you called someone a coot. Is that a slur?
It is a
think it
slur.
is.
The Washington Coots, I wouldn't mind seeing. They have a picture of a crabby old man.
What is a coot? Wait, is that a real slur?
It's
Are we
It's not a
slurring?
slur.
It's an
It's a-
insult to the
it's a
cantankerous
description.
among us.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that this is something where they actually want to make some change because they're not talking about her feelings anymore. This could cut into merch sales.
Yeah.
And now you're talking money. And once you cut into merch sales, it's going to be a big deal because the NFL, the teams share the revenue from the merch. So if it cuts into the Redskins' properties, the other owners might put some pressure.
But wouldn't it
on
be
Well, why don't-
ironic if Indian tribes made a bunch of
they cut a bunch of
Redskins
bootleg,
paraphernalia? Yeah,
really
exactly.
lame
Now it's not even
knockoffs.
bootleg.
They
Now
could-
it's completely
Yeah, true,
legal.
yeah.
They could sell them on the reservations.
Yeah.
You know, if they could stop gambling. It could all just be they
Bad
could make
hats.
all their money from Redskins
Like
helmets.
koozies. They could just make the beer koozies.
That would be ironic, wouldn't it, if they started, making money off of this? Joanne, I know you don't like to take everything back to the pageant world, but what if they asked you? What if you were in a pageant, and you had to, how they throw questions at you,
Yes.
and you have to answer them? Yeah. What if they asked you about this issue? What would you say there if you were standing up there?
I would not actually answer the question. I would dance around it. However, this time I have an actual solution. Change the name. And I have come up with possible replacements that
For the Redskins.
shouldn't offend anyone.
They non-offensive names for the Redskins.
The Founding Fathers.
Founding fathers. Everyone loves
Unless
them.
you don't have
They
a
own
father, then
slaves.
I'm
I'm a
sorry.
mother.
Didn't
Okay,
they? Wait a minute.
Offensive to
Didn't
women.
the founding fathers own slaves?
Okay,
Well,
yes.
that's
okay.
a rumor.
Then I have another one. The Washington Agriculturalists.
Oh no, GMOs.
And it's
It's all big agra, right?
Okay, then I left my last one. It's the most offensive. The Pilgrims.
Pilgrims, yeah. Don't we already
Is
have
that-
that?
Bunch
Is
of
that
religious
offensive?
fanatics.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
well-
They were.
So my solution didn't work out so much, but I was in it with the best intentions.
But am
The
I
Pilgrims
wrong
would
here?
just give smallpox to the Redskins. So that doesn't work.
They didn't
That's
mean
true.
to do that. That
No,
was a
no, of
mistake.
course not, of course not.
Andy, am I the only one here on the panel who thinks I stand with Dan Snyder? I think it's ridiculous. This political
Wasn't
correctness
that your
run amok.
hashtag?
Yeah.
Last week, stand with Dan. Yeah.
Stand with Dan, yeah. Look, the name of the team is going to change.
Yeah.
I think at some point.
I do. I think so as well.
It's whether it's next week or in a couple of years or whatever, the name of the team is going to change.
But will
the
the
Bullets?
Okay, will the other
Well,
ones
I said that months ago. I'm going to go. I think the Washington Lobbyists. If you want a name that connotes power and unstoppability, you go with the Washington Lobbyists.
Right.
You can't beat them.
What about the farm team, the farm baseball team, the Las Vegas Area 51ers? Shouldn't
I like that
change?
name. Why?
Shouldn't that is offensive to people.
whom?
They're making fun of people who believe in such things, I think.
Area
Well,
51 is a real
it's
place.
There's no, it's
Oh,
not like
boy.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Grandmother.
I would personally,
Those
I would
things are real.
change the name to the Chemtrails, but
I
that's just
think
me.
I think I know where the Red Eye
Follow
fans
the
who they stand with on this issue. Okay, it's